Hey, BassGeek here, and the minnow bait's been one of the hottest baits for the past 2 or 3 years, but the bass have already started to catch on. I discovered a rig last summer that when the minnow bite goes away, the bass cannot resist. Now, I've talked about this rig with a bunch of pros and a bunch of bait companies that I know and get to work with on a regular, and let me tell you, they are all keeping this one under wraps. But first, I want to share something with you and give you geeks the opportunity to try this rig out if you stay to the end of the video. Geeks, Baitwrx is a leader in the online retail tackle sales. You need to go check them out. Every month, they send me $50 in baits so that I get to give them away to you. I handpicked these baits in this box just for you based on time of year and the way I like to fish. Let's crack this puppy open and see what we've got. All right, so I want to tell you, you're going to hear a little bit of a rough voice over the next probably couple of weeks. And the reason why is because I came down with a pretty serious case of pneumonia. The lungs are getting better. We are where we are. So I apologize that you have to listen to me like this. I am getting better, knock on wood. I do got to see the doctor a couple days after this video's being filmed. So fingers crossed, I am actually getting better. But enough of that, let me show you what's in the May, and I know it's late, again, pneumonia. BassGeek Baitwrx box, and let me show you this rig that everybody's trying to keep on the down low. So right off the bat, man, you gotta have a spinnerbait this time of year. The bluegill are spawning, the shad are spawning toward the end of May, 1st of June, where I live at. We've actually seen several fry garters on the bed where I'm at on this lake right now. We've seen bluegill on the bed, so this is great. You want a spinnerbait that's got some gold and got some chartreuse in it when those bluegill are up on the bed. This is from War Eagle. A crankbait is a great thing, especially a square bill when those bluegill are on the bed. This is one of the things that I think is extremely underutilized when it comes to late spring, and this is one of my favorites, the Bandit 100. Another great thing is a wacky rig worm that gets those big bass fired up when you're fishing around those brim beds. And is there anything better than a good old watermelon red from Gary Yamamoto? When those brim are up on the bed, a lot of time it's the sharp, erratic action that fire the bass up to feed. And trust me, there ain't nothing that gets a sharp, erratic action better than a jaw dropper. These things are hard to find right now because I've been talking about them so much. So you're gonna get to try them free in a box. You got small brim, you better have a Power Finesse mushroom head with one of my favorite worms attached to it. What's my favorite worm? It's gotta be a Yum Ned Dinger. Listen, what a lot of people don't know is this is standard plastic. It's a great deal, but it also has a bubble in the tail, so it'll stand straight up. Another great little bait right here, and it's great this time of year, and that is a Kitech Easy Shiner 3-inch. And I like to couple that with one of these. I call them the screw heads. They're called the Okashira screw heads. This is a 1/8 ounce. Always going to give you a sticker, sometimes from Baitwrx, sometimes they don't throw one in the box, but we always going to give you a BassGeek sticker. Make sure you stick around to the end so that you can win this box from Baitwrx. But now let me give you the details of this deadly rig. Rod, reel, and line setup is so important on this rig, geeks. I like to use the TFO Resolve Bass. This is their high-end rod. And this is a 7.3 medium light plus. I can throw an 1/8 ounce all the way up to a 5/8 ounce. And I like the longer rod to be able to get a longer cast, which is key this time of year, especially if you're using the Wordy Dirt scoping. Now, the reel I like, this is an ITX by Akuma. Man, this reel has been really solid for me. One of the only complaints I got is you can see the handles themselves are starting to wear out, but that's how much I've used this little sucker. I always got my pink canine so I can see, you can see how green the water is. That pink canine shows up better than the high-vis yellow. The braid is my main line. And then I use Pro 100 100% fluorocarbon by K9, 8 to 15 foot, 8-pound test leader. A minnow bait is really a subtle bait, and that's what makes it so incredibly great during what I consider fall, winter, early spring, and even a little bit into the post spawn. You know, it really does nothing. You impart the action. Of course, this is one of my very favorites, and this is the new 4-inch. That's something we're going to talk about a little bit later that'll keep that minnow bait bite going a little bit longer, and that's matching the hatch and using bigger. But we're going to talk about that in a video later on. The heads really do nothing. You're just shaking, and this bait works side to side. As the water starts to warm up, a little more action is what gets those bass fired up. That's why this rig has become money. This is what I call the screw head. These are screw heads. This is not going to be in the box. This is the one that I'm going to rig today. It's a little heavier. It is lead. This is by Destroyer Bait Company, and this is called the jar head. Now, the key to these baits really are the blade, and you can see the offset in the blade. You've got what I call a cloverleaf style blade, and then you've got a kind of cupped offset blade. Now, Yokoshira by Megabass does the same exact thing. You guys are going to get these great heads, but they only make them in 1/8 ounce. Don't be fooled by the other great sizes. What's wrong with you, Megabass? Anyway, I fish a lot of deep Highlands lakes, so that's not going to work for me in a lot of situations, but you geeks are going to be great, especially if you fish from, say, the shoreline or anywhere else. Now, this one, I believe, is a 3/8, and you can see they're pretty much set up the same exact way. So I'm going to rig this so I don't lose your heads that you're going to have a chance to win if you continue watching to the end of the video. Who's that guy? That's Elite Pro Brandon Polnick. He loves this swim bait, and so do I. This is something that I've been messing with for about the past year now. What I love about it is they're extremely durable. Now you can see this is a 2.75. I like a smaller swim bait on this rig. They make the 3-inch versions too, the 3.25, and but you can see, man. I mean, look how soft that swim bait is. I mean, that thing is tremendously soft. Love the ribs, but it's a lot more durable in the same likeness than, say, just your Easy Shiner or your Swing Fat Impact. And this is how I rig this up. First, I line it up, put my thumb back here to where I'm going to make sure that it comes out. Poke me a little hole right in the middle so that I can see where it's going to come out. Hit her right dead in the center of the nose. Push it up. Find my exit hole. A little behind it. There it is. Squeeze it fat over that guard. Get it nice and straight. Now, here's a big key to this. I do put a little bit of glue, but this ball is key. Do not push it up there where you're not going to spin. See that? Barely spinning. You want to make sure there's a little bit of play so you get free. Now, I know you can't feel this, but hopefully you can see it. You can literally feel the vibration, and that offset to that blade causes this head to have a pretty amazing wobble action coming through the water. And that little bad boy right there, put you just a touch of glue on the ball, make sure it don't get over the little cup, and you are ready for battle. The knot that I like to use is a pit seam. I just put it on, tie it around about 5 times, 6. Now, there's 2 ways. If you're not around a lot of trash, you can just come straight up through the top. If you are around a lot of trash to get your tag in, now it becomes a San Diego jam when it comes back through the bottom. You'll wet it and you'll cinch it down. So if you're not worried about things getting hung on your tag in, you can run through the top. If not, you can run through the bottom and you're good to go. Then you just clip it, leave a little bit of your tag in, and there you have it. Now, since we made it a San Diego jam, that little tag will fold backwards since it's coming out of the bottom of the knot and not get nearly hung up around some light grass as it would otherwise. One of the big keys to this brig is going to be weight. This is a 3/8 ounce. A 3/8 ounce, I can fish this down, especially during the summer with not a lot of wind, to about 25, 30 feet. So a lot of times during the summer, I'm using somewhere around an eighth, a quarter, something that's going to keep it up shallower and keep it slower. The great thing about it being a swim bait as opposed to a straight tail like a minnow is that it will keep it higher in the water column for you because of the extra action. My go-to weights are probably going to be that quarter. I'm going to keep that and fish that if there's no wind down to about 20 feet. The other great thing that a heavier weight does is allow you to move the bait faster, sometimes getting reaction bites. So you can throw this out there with a heavier weight, say a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce, and fish it at that 10 to 15 foot mark really quickly, stop, quickly, stop. And a lot of times when you zoom it by, those bass that are just swimming around, that reaction of it coming past them, swimming past them at a high speed, just gets reactions. The key to this is making long, accurate casts, especially in clear water. So you're going to make your cast out there, let it hit, keep it above the bass, and reel it at a slow, steady speed. I don't shake this like I do the minnow bait at all. And that's going to be retrieve number one. When they come up, trust me, they will crush this thing. They love this thing coming through balls of shad too. So if you've got a ball of shad and they're keying on it, bring it straight through the middle of that ball of shad. They will not hesitate once it comes through. Setting the hook, it's a straight up or side set, whichever you prefer. I prefer a straight up and then reel down, which keeps the bass in the water and keeps them from jumping. Land it with a net or land it on your thumb. Only two ways. I'll boat hop them depending on if they're real small, but if you get a good one on, reach down there and pick that bass up. The second retrieve is going to be my heavier retrieve. It's going to be that stop and go. I'm going to run it by them. I'm going to make sure they react to it. I'm going to stop it, and just as they get to it, I'm going to take it off again. Hook set is going to be the exact same. Set it straight up or sweep to the side, keep the rod tip down, get them in the boat. Hey geeks, we're going to interrupt this right now. We actually run across one of you guys out on the water. I always tell you, make sure you come by, make sure you say hi. Don't worry about interrupting me or my fishing or my filming. I'm here for you. This is what I do this for. It's why I put the work in. So let me introduce you to one of you geeks out there. So introduce yourself, man.
J.L. Phillips, Castlewood, Virginia.
So you catching any out here today?
Been tough. Dad's had a couple go up on a pawpaw, and that's about it.
Nice pawpaw. They love a pawpaw on this lake.
And a whopper pawpaw, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, do you, so where you normally fish at?
Clinch River and North Fork Coastal.
I'm gonna have to get him to come out and teach me a little bit about that Clinch River fishing. But man, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you saying hi.
Good to see you guys.
Appreciate you. And if there's anything we could ever do for you, let us know.
Yeah, I said I'm a fan. I subscribe.
Thank you, brother. Hey, by the way, anybody you want to say hi to?
Randall Smith, my neighbor and friend.
All right. Hey, Randall, y'all be good. All right, geeks, so how can you win this box and how can you get to try this rig out on your own? And trust me, this is not just for forward-facing sonar. Now, that's what this video is primarily about. I'm not gonna lie, but this thing is fabulous just banging the banks during May and June. Now, if you like this video, you want to see when I really learned about this bait and what I really figured out, make sure you watch until the end, past the outro, and I'll have a video there for you that shows the fish that I actually started catching on it. To win the box, all you got to do is enter hashtag screwhead in the comment section below, and you'll be entered to win. 1 week from when this video comes out, another video will come out, and it'll announce the winner. We'll contact you on the winning comment. All you have to do is send me an email and we'll verify you are who you say you are, and we'll give you the chance to catch some on a screwhead yourself. All right, questions, comments in the comment section below. Make sure hashtag screwhead to be entered. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get the notifications. Join the 100% Watch Squad. That is huge. Helps the channel more than anything. Watch 100% of the videos 100% of the time. And as always, you geeks rock.